I met Juliet through common friends. And one day on the ferry that takes people from Scotland Island to Church Point on the mainland, I saw that there she was carrying some paintings. I knew her painting very well. And we suddenly realized that it would have been a great idea if we tried to do something together. Some paintings that depicted my poetry or interpreted my poetry. Soon after, we decided the idea of inviting an artist who worked in 3 dimensions. And that person was Ruth, an interior designer who is also a fabulous imaginer of 3-dimensional art. And so we started this, and it started with an excitement of minds, because we saw that there was really some extremely interesting reciprocal influence could come out, and so we did it with great passion. I've written poetry all my life, and the topics have been in sequence: my time in Naples, the war, and art, because I come from a very artistic family. So art is part of my makeup and part of my poetry also. And love, very important. And my poetry nowadays I write first in English, then Italian. So I write also with a medium that is not mine.
One of the poems that was most interesting for both Ruth and I was called The Trembling Man, and it goes, "I am the trembling man, I tremble, therefore I am." And that's just the first stanza. It goes on, and it's a very, very powerful, very neat poem which moved us both. So I first of all did the drawing of just the trembling man as such, and I was trying to show many aspects of that sense of the tremble. And then I put that aside and I thought, how can I show, rather than treat it like a portrait, how can I show the whole mood? And one of the artists I absolutely adore, like so many others, is Goya. And Goya relies very much on big swathes of black and patches of light. And so in this one, by using the black ink, the white gouache, and so I took it from treating it like a portrait to treating it as a whole environment of tremble. I then had to go through the process I've done with each of his 12 poems. How am I going to take a drawing and make it into a painting? And for 6 months I tortured myself. Do I do paintings? Do I do paintings? And I thought, no, I'm going to actually carry the drawings onto a larger scale, onto the canvas. So I'm still using paint to create mood. In some of the paintings it is the dark sweeps and the patches of light, because it does, creates that beautiful mood, that push and pull, almost like theatre. And it went from one single man to one and a suggested other men, whereas here I've developed it as to 3 different men. And there's quiet resolve and a tremendous strength is what I wanted to capture. This one's called Synesthesia, and it's about when your emotions get compromised by memory. And with synesthesia, it's using different senses, like you hear food, you smell music. So he's hearing his own reflection. So that's where the synesthesia, he's hearing his memories.
The first time I saw one of her paintings of, actually it was a drawing of one of my poems, I was flabbergasted because it was so good, so powerful, and most importantly, so revealing of things that I didn't think were in the poem.
The artworks are in response to Paolo's poem called The Question, which is the basic question with who am I, what's the meaning of life, where did we come from? We all think we're so important as we keep thinking there's a reason for our life, and that's the question, is there a meaning? And do you have to go to the top of the tree to work out your meaning, or was it because we fell out of the tree and evolved into humans? What is our purpose? What is our life about? And I think that's the gist that I got out of Paolo's poem. Yeah, the Trembling Man, what we've named the show after. And the Trembling Man is Paolo. So Paolo's been extremely brave. He has Parkinson's disease, and he's written a poem about himself, Trembling Man. He trembles, therefore I am. And I think he did it. Maybe it's therapy, a bit of a joke as well, and just acceptance that, you know, that's what he's got. So I was playing around and asked him whether he'd like to be involved with a bowl. And he was curious, so I thought, well, if he's trembling, would you like to be part of an artwork? So I asked him, next time you're having a real tremble session, could you just write out the poem? Because I'll turn the trembles into text, into textile, into texture. So that's what I've done. So all of the writing on here is actually Paolo's that I've transformed onto paper, then put onto fabric, and in reverse. So it becomes a texture, and just one line across here is the poem itself. And the wobbly lines and everything on the outside is to reflect the way he's feeling, but also to make his challenge into a beautiful piece of artwork.
Taking an idea that moves with words, without shape, and making it in a shape that is in 3 dimensions, space and time, leaves you really stupefied. Trembling Man. I am the trembling man. I tremble, therefore I am. If the diagnosis is correct, will a Doppler effect be my fuzzy main trait? Slow but secure, I shall become a blur, a blear, a mist, a haze, and people will amaze, because, trembling man, alone I know where I am.